So we keep it short, but very powerful. So today I will share one of the moments I had with supplementation. I'm a huge fan of supplementation. I was, like a lot of people are, against it from the beginning on, because I thought, like many people, if you eat healthy enough, you don't need to supplement anything, right? So this approach changed over time, and now what I actually follow is the approach of knowing exactly what to supplement. And supplementation makes very much sense in exactly one case, if you have a deficit. And what's very common, for example, in the US, that is very, very common, and it gets more and more common in Europe and Germany, is a wrong relationship from omega-3 acids to omega-6 acids in your blood. So omega-3 or fish oil had a big hype during the maybe 90s or yes, 2000 to 2010. Now it disappeared kind of. Maybe it already got to come back. But the perspective is, as always, too black and white. Because omega-3 is maybe the most overrated supplement ever if you don't need it. Because what is important to know with omega-3 acids is how much you need them. And the one thing you should test in your blood, and it's very easy to test, is the relationship of omega-3 acids to omega-6 acids. And the optimal relationship is 1:1 to 1:4. This is the range where your relationship from omega-6 to omega-3 should be. Okay? But in the modern Western world, where we eat a lot outside, and the restaurants always cook with cheap cooking oils, right? Which are very affordable because it's a business and not about your health. So they use a lot of those plant oils. Okay? And this is basically, first of all, if you cook it raw, it's a trans fat, which is the one fatty acids you really don't want in your bloodstream, because this is very dangerous. And second, it's mostly omega-6. So the more you don't cook for yourself and eat out in any restaurants, the worse your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio might be. So if you have one of those symptoms, joint pain, you don't sleep ideally, sleep problems, you have skin problems, you feel dizzy in the morning, you feel nausea, or you cannot focus in the day, one tip I could give you: just go online, search for omega-3 to omega-6 acid ratio test, which is very affordable with 20-30 euros maybe. On the one address I ordered is serascreen.com. There you can order a lot of tests. And if it's out of this 1:1 or 1:4 ratio, and the Western world, it's common to see 1:20 or 1:25, like 1 omega-3, 25 omega-6. Then inflammation goes up. Because it's very important for the body to have enough omega-3 acids to reduce or to manage inflammation. Meaning, so if you eat too much gluten, if you eat too much fructose, if you have a lot of soreness during training, if you don't sleep enough, inflammation in the body goes up. The body should normally be able to reduce that inflammation on its own power, for example, by omega-3. But if you eat too much omega-6, it will block all those receptors for omega-3, and the ratio will completely fall off. So it will be omega-6 dominant, and your body will not be able to manage inflammation. So any joint pain, any stomach issues, any back pain, shoulder issues like one or two of you had, hair loss, anything, problems with your eyes, could be connected to that parameter in your blood, which is very easy to test. And if it's off, it's very easy. You could do two things. Just supplement a little bit more omega-3. The most important thing there is to know there's ALR, which is not the best source of omega-3, and there's EPA and DHA. It's icosapentanesäure or icosapentaneous acid and docosahexaensäure, docosahexaen acid in English. This is mostly in grass-fed beef or in salmon. You find those two sources. And those are very, very beneficial to keep the relationship between omega-6 and omega-3 stable. ALA is the plant-based source, this is not as usable for the body as EPA and DHA. This is very important to know because the nutrition industry always says that ILR is a very good omega-3 source. It's not. The body cannot use it as good as it does with DHA and EPA. Okay, and if you supplement it, you will maybe be able to reduce the deficit from omega-3 to omega-6. And there is an omega-6 blocker, and it's called astaxanthin. So if you combine those two sources, you can be able to change the ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 within 6 to 8 weeks. With omega-6, as the last sentence for that, you can just Google it or go to AI, any AI you use, and ask for the right dosages, because you need much more than it's usually recommended. You need up to 5, 6, 7, sometimes over 10 grams each day to be fast on re-establishing the right relationship between omega-3 and omega-6. So very simple and very powerful tip to get a little healthier and a little more performance oriented.
Nice.
You mentioned the dysbiosis because in Europe, because of the oil, right, from the restaurant that they use.
They use a lot of omega-6 sources.
Okay, but which one would you prefer for, like, when I cook at home? Which oil should I then use to have like a...
The best tip I can give you, the more solid the fat in room temperature, the more stable it is against heat. You get me? So, for example, coconut oil, butter, schmaltz, or Indish ghee, if you heard about it. It's like butter. It's like butter schmaltz. I don't know the English word for it.
Yeah.
No.
Smells.
Smells. Like the more solid the fat is, the more stable is the molecule against heat. So if it when we have 20 degrees in here and the fat is solid, the probability, it has a very high Rauchpunkt, it's called in German. Yeah, you understand? Yeah. The more stable it is, the less the probability you destroy it by heat. So for example, olive oil is it's a polyunsaturated fat acid, which works too. But the more solid the fat is with room temperature, the more saturated fatty acids are in it. And the more saturated fatty acids are in it, the more stable it is against cooking heat. So for example, if you take Rapsöl, which is a very common source in Germany, and you heat it in the pan, like over 100 degrees, what will happen, the molecules will break. And there is a called cis configuration in that molecule, it will destroy it. And you turn it into a trans fat. So, and if just when you press the oil, like Rapsöl, it's not possible to press Rapsöl. What's the English word? Rapsöl, sorry. When you press it, when you distill it, it's not able without heat. So the probability to have trans fatty acids already when you buy it out of the supermarket, it is like 100%. So this is why you always read like
Coconut oil for you it is.
coconut oil works because it's stable with room temperature.
So olive oil,
Great.
also okay.
And olive oil, I wouldn't. It's great when you keep it cold for salad. But if you heat it, if the temperature is too high in the pan, you will destroy some molecules. And this is what you definitely not want, because this is by definition oxidative stress. For butter is better for cooking, for heating it.
Right.
The hotter the pan, the more solid the fat has to be to stay stable against the heat. If it's fluid,
I asked ChatGPT that question, but it said that olive oil is also okay.
olive oil is a compromise.
Okay.
Not compromise. It's a mixture.
Okay.
It's the best from the fluid ones.
Okay.
It is relatively stable, but they are fluid because they are not stable against heat. Right? Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the molecular configuration which makes them solid or fluid. That's good. But olive oil from all those plant oils is the best source you could use. The worst is like sunflower, rapeseed, all the stuff. It's very bad for making it very hot. And you will destroy the molecular structure out of the from the fat, and so you will eat a lot of trans fat, and by that you will destroy the balance of omega-3 and omega-6 as well.
Yourself.
Yourself. Over time, for sure.